here. But we're going to get started on the way. We're going to make sure that we honor your time as well. So next slide. Nice agenda. Hey, Paul, can you take on the next slide, please? There we go. We're doing two slides. So we're gonna have introductions first, community life team updates, our 2025 projects, which makes some of you very happy. And then we're gonna go to some piece of questions and development update. So let me start with the introductions. Next slide. One more. Here we go. So this is your field residential development team. The one guy that's not here, Mike McMillan, he is Vice President of Land and Housing. This is AJ Storm, who is the Director of Land and Housing. This is the community. And this is Michael Lobo, he's our project manager. Board of Directors. AJ is now the President of the Board. Armando, doing that.
Armando, Development Manager, part of the development team as well. My name didn't make it up to the slide though, unfortunately.
You guys speak louder because we said locked out, just to make sure.
Sure.
So the next slide, Paul. So the community life team, I am a couple of specs and Sylvie Thomas, I just got here at Christmas, so I gotta get my name changed, but I haven't messed you guys up with my emails just yet. I'm the executive director. John Croak is our director of community asset management, who's in charge of all facilities, maintenance. Paul Cardenas, who's on the other end of my computer here, is our our director of community engagement. Angie Castro right here is your community operations manager. Danielle Sermon, we call her Danny, but Danielle. So you can call me community engagement manager, and Chris Sandoval is our community standards coordinator, who does all the agency processing and violation, that sort of thing. Next slide. We're going to go to a community life update, and I'm going to turn that over to Dave.
It's so great to see you in other spaces, and I hope we don't even take this again at some of these events that I'll outline for y'all when we get into all the happenings that are coming up here at Easton Park. So as Colleen said, I'm the community engagement manager, and I work specifically with our events on site, our community clubs, and our reservations that we house as well. So coming up here in February, this Friday, we have our Valentine's Day event. If you can believe it, it's already mid-February, so here we are, love is in the air. That will take place in the Costello, so just the room across the way from 6:30 to 8:30. We'll have a nice jazz band, and we'll have light bites and a cupcake bar sponsored by David Weekly. So please come out and join us, and we'll also have cocktails too. We love cocktails. And then we also have the Cabot County Sheriff's Office Forum that you all can attend. That will take place in the same room next Wednesday, February 19th at 6:30. So same time, same place next week. So hope to see you there. And then we also have one of our partners, Frostbank. They are having their official ribbon cutting ceremony. You may have already visited them just right here behind us. But yes, they'll be having their official ribbon cutting. And that will be next week on Thursday. Then moving into March, it is a packed month when it comes to events. So we will have a sweet treat social. OG residents may remember this. We used to do them once a month, and so we are bringing them back, not necessarily once a month, but you'll definitely be seeing them on your calendars. So our first one of this year will kick off on Friday, March 14th. That will be from 3 to 4 at Discovery Park. and that timeframe will remain the same. So when you see Sweet Treat Social, just make sure to block off that 3 to 4 o'clock hour. We'll be providing sweet treat goodies for y'all, and it's really just a great opportunity for us to meet the residents and for residents to meet us. We love chatting and we love getting to know y'all, so please come on out. We also have a karaoke night sponsored by Realty Austin. So Araceli and Liza, they are residents, they're your fellow neighbors, but they also work at Realty Austin, and they love putting together great events. So if y'all have any great ideas that you want to bring to the community, please let myself and Paul know. We would love to help y'all bring those to fruition and help support in any way that we can. But this karaoke night it's actually happened before, and it was such a success that they wanted to bring it back. So that will be taking place Friday, March 14th. It will be here at the Union in the outdoor courtyard from 7 to 9:30. And then we have Eastcation, which again, OG residents may remember is our spring break celebration extravaganza. It is a multi-tiered event. So this year it will take place across 3 separate days. So we'll kick off on Friday with Backyard Cruise, and that will be from 6 to 8:30 here. We'll have cocktails and light bites for everyone to enjoy and kick off the fun. And then we'll have the Park and Play, which is more of a family-oriented celebration. Last year we had bouncy houses and little bites out. So think that sort of similar feel. And that will be on Saturday from 11 to 1 at Skyline Park, which we know we all love Skyline Park. So excited to be housing that there this year. And then lastly, we have Easton Park Derby, which is essentially, for any dog lovers here, you will love this. Your heart will melt over this event. People brought out their dogs, donned all sorts of fun costumes, and had a little race with the dogs based off of different size categories. And it's just a delight. Even if you're not a dog owner yourself, I would still highly recommend coming out to this event. It's a real treat. And that's from 12 to 2 at Easton Park, which is the dog park just to the left of this building. And then we have a community cleanup. This was put together by your neighbors that are part of the Recycling and Sustainability Club. Sarah and her awesome crew have put a few dates out for the entire calendar year. So if you go on your Enumerate Engage resident portal, you will see on the calendar posting for this event all the future dates as well. So if you're not able to make it to one, no worries. We would love to see you at any of the others. The Nizo, as y'all may know, is a food truck at this food truck park right over here. It's actually run by Easton Park residents, Nancy and Harrison, and they are great supporters of Easton Park initiatives. And they actually provide free drip coffee to anyone who participates in the community cleanup. So kickoff starts at 8 a.m., but get there about 7:30, 7:45 for that free coffee to fuel you into the cleaning of the trails from there. And then we have the Mathnasium, which is, if anyone is familiar, Mathnasium actually has a location in South Park Meadows. And this is essentially an after-school program that a lot of Easton Park residents' children are a part of. And they essentially have a very hands-on approach to helping children learn and strengthen their math skills. Has proven to be very beneficial, and our Easton Park kiddos really love it. So if anyone you know would be interested in sending their kids on over, it would be a great fun event. It's free to residents. I should mention all of these events actually are free to residents for y'all to attend. So please take part of them. And that will be from 12 to 2, Saturday, March 29th, here in the Vaughn. And one other event that just got confirmed that I want to make sure to highlight is the blood drive. So for those who may not be familiar, we do host quarterly blood drives. It is something that we are definitely passionate about, saving lives here. We do that in partnership with We Are Blood, which is our local nonprofit blood bank. And they will come out once a quarter. So the first one will also be on March 29th from 10 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And their bloodmobile bus typically sets up on this side of the lawn. No, don't drink alcohol before or after.
I'm thinking more.
And then we have some recurring events as well. So y'all may have noticed here, right out front by the flagpoles, we have Del Valley Mobile Library. They come every Monday from 9:30 to 11. And they have a program where you can rent books through them, or just go on the bus and see if there's anything that tickles your fancy, rent them there on site, or just take a peek at what they have. A lot of residents really love this, so please come on and check that out, and that is every single Monday at the Union. We will post if there's any reason that they won't be coming out for a certain week. And then we have First Friday Food Truck. So every first Friday of the new month, we bring out a new food truck to come out and offer some great bites for you. So we just had, I believe it was Nightfire Barbecue in February. Hopefully some of y'all got to enjoy that. And then this month in March, or this coming month in March, or it's in March, oh my gosh. This coming month in March, we will have Hungry Jay's, which is a pizza food truck. And in April, Fusidesi, which was here last year, and it was actually the top seller food truck that we had. So that one was a hit. So put these on your calendar too. 5:30 to 8:30, first Friday of the month here at the Union, also right here to the side by the picnic tables. And then lastly, I wanted to highlight our clubs. These are some of our active clubs and hopefully still counting. But for anyone who may be new or who may just not have taken the time to dip your toe in some of these great club programs that we have, they are awesome. We love to provide all sorts of different incentives to our clubs, like free reservation hours for gatherings and socials. And we do have several clubs who take great advantage of that. 50 Plus Trailblazers Pride, they are the rock star club. They are the example of what a club and what a community really looks like. And they do all sorts of gatherings, from playing dominoes together to during the holiday season this past year, they actually made blankets that they then donated to a local organization. So they do all sorts of great impactful work and have a really darn good time at it. So they are awesome. And then we have our Good Works Club. So for anyone who may be into reading, this would be a great fit for you. New Moms Club, great support network for the new moms of Easton Park. There's a lot of young families in this neighborhood, so it's a great way to connect with people who can understand this phase of life that you're walking through with you. And then we have Poker Club. They're one of our longstanding clubs. They have a lot of fun in here. Recycling and Sustainability Club, I touched on. They are very active in the community. Run Club, they typically meet up once a week, and they'll meet up here, I believe, Thursday nights at 5:30, if I'm not mistaken, and take a run. It's meant for all skill levels, so don't be discouraged if you wouldn't consider yourself a marathon runner. But it's really just a great social gathering to be able to step out on our Austin trails with your neighbors. And then we have our Tabletop Gamers Club, which I'll give you a little insight and peel back the curtain. We are looking to do a trivia night here on site where we'll bring in a third-party company to host a fun trivia event for everyone. And that will be free of charge, but we are very excited to bring all sorts of different fun initiatives to everyone here on site. So if there's any club that you're interested in joining or maybe creating, I'm your person, so feel free to reach out, but we would love to see your faces at some of these great happenings on site.
So this is something that I'm so excited about. Who's out there? This just started yesterday. Our shade structures. We need some shade. We don't want to cover the whole place though, because we know we're happy to get some sun. So, our shade structures are going up right now. It's supposed. But they have to let that all dry and make sure everything's back in place where they belong. Then they'll come back to the actual shade cover. So it's going to be a two-part process. And then we're also going to invest in some heavy-duty umbrellas with really heavy-duty bases that we can position strategically for popping up, like, you know, some of these sections like where the green is there. So we'll have that as well. So it's going to be a much better cool time for everybody at the pool this year. And then we actually have a couple things that are in process. Some of the glass tile around the pool we had to be repaired. So we're looking at taking that off, perhaps replacing it with something else. We're still in the process of deciding exactly. And then the rocks that are underneath that pool tile are what causes the breaking of the pool tile. The little ones like to throw those rocks. So design issues, we're going to work around that. And then in the Costello, we have a couple rugs that really need to be replaced, so we're looking at, perhaps some just area rugs. We're still in the process of working that out. That's a couple more projects that I know they're coming. Next up is just a reminder. Fence maintenance, repairs, and painting. I did talk to Sir Pro, and they're giving a 20% discount. Free estimates. You just gotta book it by March 1st. Get them down there, let us take a look at your fence. So much easier to have them do it than you guys do it, right? If you don't have time, take advantage of them. The fences, like the Sanji speaking on top there, it's actual support fence. So it need to be cleaned and repainted. The color is there, as long as you repaint it the same color that it is, the rules, we don't have to set it in the ACC. Request on that. Chris, who is also the, like I said, the violations guy, he's had his orders now. I think him all the time, get this project going. Of course, we can't do it when it's raining, so if you know that you need to do your fence, if you go to this calculus and do a little note. And that's how I just want to do it first, instead of just, and I will know to say, don't forget, you do your fence. You can just tell them, yeah, I know it's going to get done. That's something that we need to get done. And, it said no less than every 4 years, and I know some of the fences, definitely. Next page. So these are some of the questions I got. Some of them we actually went ahead and responded directly to those folks, because or individualized. Security, we had good questions on that. Travis County Sheriff's Forum, as Danny said, will be here on February 19th to take questions and give you stats and information about the roads. We actually had, some of you may have missed this, but it was right in December, we all were probably thinking about the holidays, but Travis County Road Department today at the town hall online, very informative. I listened to the whole thing. I think there were only 30 people or so on the call that were listening to it, so I know we might miss a few people. So I suggest going back on, we're gonna actually have Paul and sending out the actual link. I just tested it yesterday, and it's still there. So you can go on and watch the whole thing again. It's about an hour. Really informative. They showed you the roads they were working on, the process it takes, where they were, what they've done. Just a ton of information, so I really recommend that you look at that. And if you have any real questions for them about a specific thing, they get out their email address. So go ahead and send them an email, ask them a question, they're responsive. They got a new team there, they're much more responsive. But this kind of shows you the steps, which is what he actually being Kanchik, put on the screen for people. But if you read through this, first a citizen sends in the request, the engineers get assigned. It either goes, is it a good request or not? It doesn't go to every department. The customer is called within 2 days. The investigation is performed within 2 weeks. If a new sign or striping is warranted, then a work order is prepared. Once a senior staff member makes their work order, it's sent grinding and striking. I'm showing you all this to see it does take a little time. So they can't do things really quick. They do take their time. And I've been kind of one of our residents asked me a question. I said, well, go ahead and ask him. And they kept me on the copy, and I was very impressed with how he kept answering all the questions. So we take advantage of them. And as I said, watch that video. It's really good. And this is I'm going to bring up our community website so that whenever you guys have questions, concerns, that you can go, this website is so great. You can look at financials, you can look at your documents, you can see the calendar of events. Some really great things on here are submitting your ACC requests. You can make reservations, Costello, Ron, that's the place to do that. You make sure you be there, shows you all the clubs. The big thing too is sometimes I'll get an email or random one about, the neighbor's yard doesn't look that great, what do I do? Yeah, this is where you go to do that, and then it gets directed right directly to Chris, or it gets directed
right directly to Dan, so it's the right person to. So actually go there, and that's where you would put in any kind of compliance concerns, landscaping, vehicle parking, go directly to them. And now I'm gonna turn it over to AJ, he's gonna give you the update.
And good evening, everybody, everybody online. Go ahead and give you something y'all asked about. Some of these things are somewhat of a repeat from last time, but a lot of things haven't changed with the response to it, but I'll still walk through for other, for other people that haven't heard this before, just a few more details there. So, the commercial and retail folks, they're gonna come here when they wanna come here. So trust me, there's nobody that wants to retail and commercial stuff here more than the people who see it in front of you. We are constantly going out there trying to see where the market's at.
I'll find people who are here.
All right, I will talk as loud as I can. All right, here we go. All right, what I'm saying is the commercial and retail folks, they know the market here. And so as much as we want to get people out here, we are trying. We're engaged with a number of commercial developers and brokers. And for the people that don't know, Easton Park is out here. We're trying to make our name known to it, of saying like, no, this is the greatest place you want to live, is you need to have a business here and all those things. But by and large, those people are very smart about this kind of stuff. So it's less us getting it done and more them being interested at the right times. So trust us, we are pushing this initiative forward. We have to let the market come to us. For local businesses, because there's a lot of times it's like, hey, I got this one, burger stand I went to, and I think it'd be really great out there. For the local people that are kind of smaller, they either don't want to be here yet because there's not enough drive-by customers to get them here, or they can't afford it yet. McDonald's, they can get here and they can hold their breath for quite a while. And also people know McDonald's. So I was there at 7:30 this morning, not at McDonald's, but next to it. And that entire drive-through was completely full. So it might not be Easton residents, but like McDonald's knows who their customers are and people find them. So that's kind of the phasing here of like some of the larger national companies can hold their breath and they can invest in a place that's a little bit more review with lower customer because they know people will come to them. For the more local people, they're waiting for more of the rooftops to get there. So this is all happening, but I said at the end of here, I said they're not interested in coming yet. Obviously, unless you were living under a rock, HEB announced that they're going to come. The corner, catty corner to us. It's supposed to be a 2027 opening, which is huge for us because I can say that they plant the flag and now everybody else is more aware. So if we reach out to people and say, let us tell you about Easton, they'll be like, oh, you mean the place with the new HEB coming? We've now taken notice because they've taken notice. So it's good for everybody. We're hoping that kind of starts to move the needle. We've heard that from brokers, but again, y'all know this is a slow moving ship. So as much as things are trending in the right direction, it's still going to take time for all this to actually result in other businesses being open here, but it's as positive as you can possibly get. The interest in this area of Austin and the interest in Easton specifically has definitely picked up in the last 6 months with a turbo boost when HEB announced that they're going to come here. So it's coming our way. We're pushing it as hard as we can there. As far as things that are actually opening and under construction, Prospect, AutoZone, McDonald's, and the car wash are all open right now. We are going to work with the car wash to talk to the manager today. He's going up a level to see about turning the neon lights that are inside it down or off late in the night, like after closing hours. I mean, to be frank, that's a part of their marketing, is so that you notice them when they drive by. So they're trying to get some upper level approvals to be able to do that. But we're working with them to see where we can get on that. The other tenants that are in that, the other building, Enamel Dentistry, Paws on Chicon, the Nail Salon, and Chiba Hut, those are all in different stages of interior build out. I regret that I don't have a better update for you of exactly where that's at, because now it's all been turned over to them. So it's 4 different companies I'm trying to get some updates from, but those are all progressing, and excited to see whenever those get there. As soon as we get more notice on how far they are along when they're opening, y'all will be the first to know. Y'all will probably sleuth it out and know before I do. Well, there you go. So, yes, sir. That would be the Chiba Hut, the sandwich hut. Yeah. So, Alina. The apartment complex that's next to that there, they got some of their buildings opening. They hit some snags with some different things to get all the rest of the buildings open. So they're working through that, but they are starting to lease out some of their buildings and they're going to have the rest of it built out and open hopefully by mid this year. BB Living, the build for rent that's there on Finial, they're looking to open their units up for lease in April. They are full HOA paying dues, so all the people that are there will be paying the same dues and they'll have the same access to the union. So they're full paying residents. And then Nelson Village, which is that David Weekly product that's there adjacent to them, they're open now. You know, if you want your best friends to come live in Easton Park, have them go take a look at the models. They're beautiful. They're open for sales now. So that unit's open there on between Finial and William Cannon. Both the medical office building and this area that's just open, that's over like south of CVS. Both of those belong to companies at this point, and those companies are working through their permit. Those are 12-month processes with the city or the county to get where they can put bulldozers out there. And at the same time, they're lining up the people that they're hoping are going to be in the buildings that they are going to start building. So the soonest we're going to see any activity on that is probably the beginning of next year with actual horizontal work. That's the soonest it might happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Soon as it might happen. And then once they do 6 to 8 months of that work, then people come in and put up structures and open up. So we're talking Q2 of 27 is probably the first time that you're going to see those businesses open for business. But just know that there are people actively working on both permitting those structures and then finding the people that are going to be in them, both in the medical office complex that sits in the adjacent lot that's right there at the intersection of Colton Bluff and William Cannon. And then same thing with the big open area that's in between Union Park West and CVS and McDonald's and that open area that's there. So again, we'll as soon as we get more details on that, we'll share them with you. BB Living is the build to rent product that's sits right on Finial, in between Finial and William Cannon. So kind of on the eastern side of the development. Yep. And then the only other part of that is we'll announce this. We have a group called Refuel that is going to open a C-store and gas station over in East Village, which is that development that just opened over near the entrance off of 183. So that area that you've seen activity back there, there is the Primrose Daycare that's already got a wait list full of Easton Park residents. There is another site that's out of the market now. There's 2 multifamily sites that are going to get built. And then the last one that's right there at the intersection of Coda Vista and William Cannon is going to be a C-store run by a company called Refuel. If you've been around town, and I said that out loud now, you'll start to see their branding everywhere. Most of the shops they have in Austin look spectacular, but they're also rehabs of other stores, whereas ours will be a brand new one. So we've seen their brand new products in some other places around Austin and in other places of the country. Really excited to have this group in here. Looks like a very clean, modern, professional, well-run organization and stuff. So we were being very selective with what kind of C-store we brought in here. So really excited to have that one working through. We closed on that at the end of the year. Same timeline I talked about the other ones. It's going to take them a year to get the permit to be able to build it, but then obviously they are self-performing. So as soon as they can do it, they will run through that. And again, so that one might be more like, you know, mid 26 is that open. So that one's there. And then as a reminder, because we can say this out loud now, Chick-fil-A, Dutch Brothers, and I think it's Heritage Dentist, and Panda Express. Those are the groups, not Easton Park, but they're adjacent to us. That's public knowledge now. It's out there. So I don't have any updates of exactly when that's happening, but do know that those amenities are coming at some point. All right, next slide. For traffic, have anybody been through the signal at Thaxton and Slaughter? All right. That's your land team, like lobbying Travis County for a solid 8-9 months saying, hey, we got to fix this. And that was a Christmas present to us. We thought that it had kind of gone cold and we weren't getting anywhere. And then one day we saw it happening. So it's, do we have influence with Travis County? In some ways, yes. In other ways, not as much as y'all as residents. But let's all together try to get what we want around here. So continue pushing on Travis County for the things we need. But that was a success story for us to have that temporarily there. It really makes things a lot safer there at that intersection. If you're ever used to going through it, it was rough. And so it's a lot better now. The county said this is a repeat from last time. They are adverse to crossings on the roads. So the crosswalks or like raised crosswalks, even signed crosswalks, and especially flashing beacons, they're adverse to all of those. But I will tell you that we've been pressing on all of this. And there's a lot of things, this is going to sound ridiculous, but they only want to do a few Easton projects at a time. And so whenever we're having large conversations about just being able to build anything in Easton, those take priorities over getting a crosswalk put in, stuff like that. So we have been pushing on this continuously. There's just a huge backlog of things that we're trying to advocate for that are outside of their normal playbook. We're pushing for them. The crossing at Colton Bluff over to Union Village, and we're trying to get that done. Trying to beef up the one that goes from Union Park West into the new park that's there. Some other ones we're actively working on that and trying to get them, persuade them to get to where we want to be on those, because we're in favor of some more crosswalks, better lit, better signed, all those kind of things. So we're pushing on that. Faneuil Drive, I got a number of questions about this. I know this is a pain. Right now, of course, the county, it says they're not going to change any standards as far as signage, striping, speeds, or anything until that connection to Coda Vista is done and Faneuil is now cut off, because it's going to change the road completely. So they said, we're not going to get out there and change anything until it gets more to its final state. That is a project that we have collectively worked on for the last 3 years. No kidding, no exaggeration, to get the county to allow us to do it. And we just got accepted for us to submit it for them to review. So I'm looking at a permit as quickly as I think this will happen is in 4 months, we would get a permit to do it. So my goal is that we are trying to start this project June. That's what we're aiming towards. Trust us, we want it. If it was up to us, would have been done 2 years ago. So we all know that that's going to be there. There's a question about the lighting along there, about it being dark. Right now, there are street lights that go down in the rhythm that we have prescribed for the developed part of Faneuil. So the dark part is the part that's going to get rerouted and rehabbed and stuff like that. So whenever the rest of that gets intersected into Coda, it'll have a few more lights, and then Coda will be fully lit the way that if you're in Prospect Park and you see Coda Vista and it's lit up, it's that same rhythm and stuff. So yes, there is a dark end of Faneuil right now, but that's the end that's going to get bulldozed and kind of rerouted. So it'll be lit whenever we get to the end of it, okay? Well, it's just to get the road to turn into a 90-degree with Coda Vista. So it's not a real rerouting, but it's like if you see the wall of the new Nelson Village, and you'll notice that their site kind of turns, Faneuil is going to kind of turn that way, so it just hits Coda at a 90. Right, it's going to hit Coda, and you're not going to be able to go over to 1625. So it's going to cut a lot of the through traffic where people are going to then. The goal is people stop racing down Faneuil, because that's not the fastest way out. Not that we want people racing anywhere, but going to push that to William Cannon to a larger road for people to get in and out of. That's the idea. Yeah.
We have to make sure that we repeat the question.
What was it again? Cameras on Faneuil. I don't think we're looking at any kind of cameras on Faneuil right now. Yeah. Yes, sir. It's going to bisect Faneuil, and Faneuil will now dead end into Coda Vista. So you can see it right now. You can see the part of Coda that sits in Prospect and the other part that sits off William Cannon, and you can tell where it's going to meet up. There will be a pedestrian walkway actually underneath it. Yes. That kind of ties us to the other side. Coda Vista runs north to south. So Coda Vista already exists at William Cannon. It already exists at Prospect, and we're connecting those two, and Faneuil will dead end at it. Yep. So we're hoping that cuts down on the cut through traffic. Now, traffic will increase on William Cannon and Coda Vista, but that is our goal, because Coda Vista and William Cannon are both larger roads with more of a setback. Again, it's not our goal to have anybody speeding through our neighborhood, but if people do that, we hope it's on larger roads, not on our neighborhood ones. It gets to the next point, which is just construction traffic. There's questions about what can we do to slow people down? What can we do to get people to stop at stop signs? Guys, wait, I hope people are better drivers. We put up signs, we're engaging with Travis County, and we're trying to do the things to design the roads correctly. But a lot of this, the reality is we are in a developing community. And as long as we are under construction, there are going to be construction workers. And to be frank, there's companies that I do business with, and then they have subs, and then the subs have subs. And by the time it gets to certain people driving around here, there's a hard chain of custody of who all these people are and exactly who they are. If somebody goes, I saw a white truck, it's hard for us to nail down exactly who it is. So we're being vigilant on as many things as we can with Travis County, with the builders, with the people that hire them. If we see something, say something kind of thing. If we find out we see somebody speed through, we find out what work site they go to, we do that. But the reality is while we're still under development, we're going to deal with the things that come along with construction traffic. So we're hoping to just move through in chunks and mitigate as much as we can as possible. All right. And then the last slide. No, we are not going to paint the grass next year. That decision's been made. So hey, 2 years ago, it actually looked good. It lasted long. It seemed like it made a lot of sense, and it really did enhance the corridor when people came in. Somehow this year, it doesn't look good. And we all realize that. And so we're going to move away from that next year. So we're probably not going to overseed like that. There's certain places where we overseed with rye. It comes with a large water bill. And so it's just kind of like at some point, we're going to just lean into the fact that we all live in Central Texas. So it's going to look like Central Texas. So yes, there are more courts coming. We're working on where and when. I don't have any more details for you. We're working on more courts. And as soon as I know where they're going to be and when they're going to be there, we'll share that with you. We are working through that. The Second Amenity Center, same update that we always give. It's located in the southern half of Easton. And it's going to start whenever we start houses down there. This is a moving target with a lot of things that go into when exactly that's going to happen. And as soon as we have details on that, we'll give them to you. That's all I got to say about that. Landscaping along McKinney Falls, starting soon. So that's just the, if you're just around Bryant Park on McKinney Falls, and then you head south until you get to where the median goes away, that median we're enhancing, and we're going to be starting that, any day now. The trails, we're still looking for a cost-effective way to add some more lights to it. Kind of explained this at last town hall it sounds crazy, but the ability to actually just put lights around our trails is very hard. The permitting that goes into it and the cost that goes into it it's not that we're being cheap here, but it's a bigger thing than you would think about being able to put lights in critical zones, being able to put lights on property that you sort of own but don't own, and then the way that Bluebonnet works and the way the city works. Bunch of stuff, but we're trying to find a way to get this done. And then this always comes up, can't we get more pest waste stations? We'll put that on that website. We literally have a container full of these pet waste stations, and we just need y'all's input. Give them to the HOA, to John LaRoque, and if we identify places where you feel like there should be one, except for right outside your house. If you just want one outside your house, I'll tell you, take your poop back in your own house. But seriously, if y'all are finding places where we need them there, we have a box full of them, and we will come out and install them, and y'all are the best eyes and ears for it anyway. So if you find a place where it's difficult and you're just like, it'd make a lot of sense to have one here, let us know. We'll go and put it out there within the week kind of thing. So just let the HOA and we'll HOA know that, and we'll do that. Put that on a map and send in an email to eastonresidents.com. What was it now? All right. Yeah. Well, we'll take care of it for you. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Every now and then, yeah, people kind of like, this place could use some more. And I'm like, okay. So, yeah. So, and that's what we'll do. We'll look and say, hey, there is one 100 feet down the road. But if there's not one, we'll throw it in. Okay. Two more things. Google Fiber. There was a question someone said with like some confidence that there was. All right. So someone said that there's already Google Fiber in Kiki Park. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, someone can tell us that. Frankly, I have 3 months after I started working here in 2020, I had a call with Google Fiber saying, we want to be in Easton Park. And I said, cool, let's get this done. And about every 7 months, we get a new project manager from Google. We tell them the same thing. We try to guide them through, and we have not successfully gotten them to follow the next step. And so we are full supporters of Google coming. And we are waiting for them to step into what we have asked them to do.
And you're right, there is Google Fiber in some houses in Kiki, and they were only able to supply a handful of houses. Now, and able to do the rest of the neighborhood, they have to bring a huge trunk line into Easton Park. And them trying to figure out how to bring in the trunk line, where to put their station is a lot of complexity for this Google team. And like AJ said, there's been a lot of turnover with them.
Yep.
So again, we're also eager on bringing it in there. We set up meetings every like 3 months with that team. And like, help me help you, Jerry Maguire. Like, I'm trying with Google.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So, well, I'll talk to you afterwards. If you got any kind of inside,
yeah. Unless you
Yeah.
unless you know Mr.
unless you
Google.
know someone that works at Google that
Yeah.
you can actually push it from the interior, because yeah.
Yeah.
so no, we'll chat with you afterwards about it. So, and then private security. Right now we are looking at that, but I'm telling you that is a liability that the HOA can't take on. Because as soon as we start providing any kind of security, it comes with the implication that now we are responsible for security. Travis County is responsible for security around here. So we are leaning into them. We're looking at some other options to more engage with Travis County, but it will not be the HOA engaging with a private security company doing this, because that's not how this works. Y'all wouldn't be happy with the outcome anyway, or with the increase in dues to pay for this and the results that we were getting. The engagement of Travis County is what matters. To be frank, there are meetings that the HOA sets up with Travis County, with Sheriff's Office, and they are not well attended. For the number of people that are really alarmed by the security around here, when we bring them into this room to talk to you face to face and you express concerns, it's not well attended by the residents. So of all the signatures you get on stuff like that with security in Travis County, I mean, I joke about that when I say it up here, but this is engage your county commissioner. Her name is Gomez. That is your elected official that is going to change things around here. Be like Citizens Unite, Easton Park residents, all that kind of stuff. That is your avenue to increasing that. Also, there's a level of personal responsibility that I know that's what the sheriff is going to tell you as well, is like, hey, let's make ourselves hard targets. Lock your doors at night. Do this when you see these things like that, which I think y'all residents are vigilant with, but we got to keep that up. So there's a multi-pronged kind of approach to how we're going to get to this, but Travis County Sheriff's Office is going to be that conduit. And that's what we're going to continue to lean on and try to enhance that relationship by every means possible. Yeah.
I'm worried that they'll get people talking.
Hey, right on.
From my own experience, when I do public there, they're like immediately. What they're called.
Yep.
I like some other cities that look at hours later.
Right on.
Does Vanessa Fuentes any say, the politician, seen her here? Good, even here.
So the question was, does Vanessa Fuentes have any say? She definitely has some say. She represents this district. However, she is a city councilwoman as opposed to Gomez, who is the county commissioner. So, excuse me. So they overlap each other. And since Travis County Sheriff falls under a county entity, it's Gomez that you should. But again, if you're a resident of Ms. Fuentes, you can definitely appeal to her. And if you annoy her enough, she will then call her county counterpart and say, hey, guys, somebody's got to help me here. So you can probably attack both, but it's under the purview of the county. Yep. All right. That's the end of my slides, but I've just prepared. We normally take a few questions, so we can continue that. We have a little thinner crowd than normal. Sure. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Few places, not too many, one or two where the road surface is not even.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the email, somebody said it's not your responsibility, but I'm wondering whose it is to fix that? Is there more than that? Is there a trip happens?
Yes, the question was, on trails, when there's uneven surfaces and things like that, who do we contact? If you've already emailed about it, shoot that over to me and let me see where it's at. Each trail has its own life path. I know that sounds silly, but depending on where it is in construction, in a warranty, who put it in, who owns it, for us to answer the right question of who can fix it. But that is something we actually just talked about this morning, is kind of auditing all the trails and making sure that we're taking care of some problem areas. Yep, it'll fall funnel to us if it comes to us. Yep. Yes, ma'am. The question was, do we have an idea for a second pool or water recreation? That is all conversations that are happening now, that we're starting to vision out what that's going to be and where exactly where it's going to be located. And that's why I was saying we are working on all those amenities and the timing of it at which it's going to open up. So we are working on it, but nothing that we can share with any certainty right now. Yeah. I think I'm going to do the polar plunge every year, and then about 2 days before it, I opt out. So I don't. Yeah. Cool. All right. Anything else? Anything from online?
Says what is considered the southern half of Easton Park?
Okay. Yeah, I realize that y'all don't always look at the same map that I look at. Wherever Slaughter Lane intersects Thaxton right now, and it dead ends where we just said there's another signal. Slaughter Lane is going to continue east all the way to 183. Okay. Everything to the south of Slaughter is what we consider the south of Easton. And if you ever go down Apogee and you get to where Apogee hits Sassman, for one, you're already in the south because you've crossed over that low point in Apogee. That's where Slaughter's going to cross. And then when you see that sign that says picture the possibilities, when you're looking in front of you, everything that your eye touches is future Easton Park. So we got a long way to go on the south. And so that's what we talk about when we talk about the south. We're talking whenever Slaughter goes in and kind of bisects the community, everything south of that, there's probably 40% of the community that's south of Slaughter. You'll know as soon as I know. It's a lot of moving things. It's a large capital investment because it's 2 miles of road and a lot of ancillary utilities that come along with it. So we're just making sure it makes sense that when we put it in the ground, there's a reason that we do it. So that mound of dirt is excess dirt that will be used as part of Slaughter and part of some of the other neighborhoods. And that is actually, we're going to start construction on a project where that mound is sitting right now. So actually you're going to see that mound of dirt move is starting in the next 60 days. So it's going to clear that off so we can build more stuff there, and it's going to go to fill other low spots. So, ma'am? Uh-huh. Right now, we are working with the group, but we have not closed with that group.
But the
So-
streets that you're seeing online, those streets won't be there. Like those were recorded a little prematurely by the city and county. And so I've also noticed that it's popped up on Google, Apple, and a couple other things. So
Yeah.
I have inquiries to all those companies to say, hey guys, can y'all remove these?
Yeah. So since we haven't closed with that group, I'm not going to mention their name or what it is. But once we get to that point, then we'll tell y'all what's going into that intersection. And that is also an intersection that at some point in the future is a candidate for having a light there. It's another thing where we talked before is stop signs as well. It all comes to warrants and the amount of traffic there. So in the very, very, few years in the future, once there's enough traffic, there'll be a light there.
It's a vertical blind spot. That's what it's the vertical.
Yes.
side.
And yes.
Yeah.
It meets code. It is right at the edge of the distance that needs to be there, but it is deemed safe. And if you ever got any questions, just wait until you're absolutely sure. That one is also a candidate to get lit. So once you actually get the apartments on there, and once CODA actually connects there, and there's a bunch more traffic going there, it'll warrant that signal sooner. So it will be a controlled intersection. Once there's enough traffic that it starts to get hairy, then all of a sudden that will trigger putting a signal in. So. Yep. We're look. Mm-hmm.
Especially when they get high.
A lot of the median plants did get ripped out actually this year for that exact reason. So the question was, are we doing anything about the plants that are in the medians? And you'll see that actually along Colton Bluff and along Apogee, we actually took out a lot of the plants that are on the long tips that are right where intersections are for that exact reason. So, but we'll always look at that. And if things get too tall, we'll either cut them more often or we'll remove them to get a smaller flowering plant that won't get that high. So.
We have another question that came in. Are you aware of the coyote population around Prospect and Discovery Parks? And is anything being done about it?
It's coyote breeding season right now. So, I mean, they're allowed by my house. If y'all can figure out a coyote problem, then you'd be a billionaire.
Yeah,
Coyotes are a thing in Central Texas.
it's part of the charm. Yeah, I mean, no, to answer the question, no, we are not actively doing anything to control the coyote population. We are on the edge of development, and that's kind of, I tongue in cheek, but people that used to be in Bryant Park, they will tell you about sitting on their porches listening to coyotes. And so it's every time we move a little step further, the people on the farthest edge are gonna hear them. So, okay.
And then I just want to make an announcement. Paul just asked, please tell your friends, neighbors, come to the Travis County Sheriff's Forum. He's only had 10 RSVPs so far, so this is an important topic. So make sure you get out here and attend and get to meet the sheriffs and talk to them. Make them, your presence there is going to make them go, wow, they really do want us, right? So come and do that. RSVP to Paul, please. That's the 19th, next Wednesday at 6:30 here. And that looks like all the questions. So we are going to wrap it up. Everybody have a great night and thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
We have the same thing at our.